Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Brian and welcome back to our NDSU Bison's Dynasty Let's Play series here inside of College Football 27. So sorry, I've had to record this intro several times because I keep messing it up. So anyways, welcome back. It's been a bit for me, not for you guys. You guys have probably seen the last episode. If you haven't though, go check it out in the card. That'll be linked here on the screen hopefully shortly. But yeah, it's been a little bit for me since the last episode. Since I've recorded it, since I played inside this Dynasty, specifically. I've been playing a decent amount of Dynasty since I actually last recorded this one in a different one, just kind of getting more of a feel for how the game runs, how it functions properly. Obviously, it will vary depending on the team I'm playing as, but I'm currently playing a Dynasty with Duke, the Duke Blue Devils off camera, having a blast with that one so far. But basically what that means is hopefully moving forward, I'll have a better idea of how this game actually functions and what things I can do, different strategies I can use to help build up this team that we're playing as. Obviously, NDSU is nowhere near where Duke is at the moment in terms of their status in the FBS, as they just moved up, obviously. So that'll obviously be something different that I have to get used to. But regardless, we're going to continue this. It's going to be hopefully fun. I'm going to try and make it as fun as possible. Especially with the next Madden game coming out right around the corner. And I want to put some content out on that as well. So anyways, that's just a little bit of a brief intro. Let's hop right back in where we left off, which was where we took on Air Force in our first conference game. And we sadly were not able to beat them. We got really close, but then our defense sadly let us down, I would say, in the final moments. When we were leading by 1, we just went down the field, scored a touchdown. I'm pretty sure I remember this right. I might have to go back and watch again, but regardless, we sadly came up short against the Falcons, and now we are sitting at a 1-2 record and 0-1 in the Mountain West. So that may or may not have a negative impact on recruiting, as recruiting is really hard, especially for when you're only a 2.5-star program or 1.5-star program, as we are. So just lower overall teams and lower starred programs in general. We also had a little bit of a potential quarterback controversy. At least I thought we did, starting last episode, between quarterback Nathan Hayes, who has been our starter and will continue to be our starter unless I say otherwise, and our true sophomore, pure runner Preston Brown, who had pretty honestly, when he came in, I think for the second game we had, or the first game we had last episode, our second game of the year, and came in and helped us win the game because Nathan Hayes was just not doing it for us. But then also, I think what happened is that I made a switch with our offensive line, which is still not very good. Obviously, our team, just in general, again, is not the greatest. But we are missing our best offensive lineman due to injury, or were this past week. But I made a switch with our offensive lineman. I moved a couple people around, and then surprisingly, Hayes actually held his own, and Preston Brown, I feel like, didn't need to come in as much in the second game against Air Force. But sadly, we are 0-2 when Hayes, I believe, has started and finished the game. So not saying it's his fault, because obviously there's only so much you can do behind a certain offensive line. Or when your offensive line isn't very good, and when you have a defense that just lets up points, especially in the final moments, really didn't help us in that sort of sense. So kind of blame our defensive coordinator for that, and when he drew up the certain plays he came up with. But anyways, that's enough about last week. We're moving on to our next game, which I already forget what it is. I believe it's against Sacramento State. So we're going to move ahead and we're going to see if anything changes, and especially with recruiting. Okay, so it looks like, speaking of recruiting, sadly, one of our favorite prospects, Kyle Bohannon, cornerback from Xenia, something like that, Ohio, has locked us out. He's made his top 3 choices, and we are not one of them. So I didn't do a whole lot of scouting on him. Obviously, I have a very limited number of hours, as you can see in the corner, so only 300. So I spread myself very thin, which probably wasn't the best idea to do, just because, again, I'm a small program, and I'm not going to probably get a whole lot of people to come here, especially when they're even 2 stars potentially could be a struggle. I did start this right away when we started off, or when the game came out. So they've had some patches since that happened, but I'm not sure if this save is going to be bugged or not, or still like, reflect those changes made. I think honestly this first class might be that way, but I think future classes will probably be improved. Just because I know there was a problem when the game first dropped, where certain 4 stars weren't getting signed by people, and people were saying 2 stars were actually better than some 4 stars in terms of their talent-wise and all that. But in the end, Kyle Bohannon has chosen not to pursue us anymore, so we will remove him from our board. Another guy I added late, I think either last episode or before episode or something like that, maybe between episodes, I can't remember now. Cornell Dog, wide receiver from Texas, has also locked us out as well. So I feel like we're going to start to see that as we continue on, especially if we don't win any more games. However, I'm pleasantly surprised to see Taylor Manuel has put us in his top spot. Then again, I did up his NIL offer to 5, as he was only, I think, looking for 0 at the start. But I kind of realized that if you offer a recruit more NIL than what they want, there's obviously a higher chance they'll come to you, even if you don't really fit what they're looking for, or you're not in their pipeline. You might just have an easier bit of influence, or a greater bit of influence, which honestly, it makes sense. I was just trying to avoid it because I also know that once you do that, when it comes time for the off season, or at least after you recruit them, obviously. So this time next year, or before the season next year, whatever NIL you offer them, that will be their base, their new base. So if you already had, like for example, I think like I said, Taylor Manuel had 4, because I think I offered him did I offer him only 5? Yeah, 5. As you see, he's very interested in that, but that's because he had 0 before. So he's kind of looking at that as, well, man, these guys must really want me, so they're going to actually offer me some money. So that's obviously the reason why. But again, that will become his new baseline in the future. So unless he does really well, unless he starts playing for us, maybe, or maybe even if he doesn't play for us this next year because of our roster, the next season we'll have to offer him 5 more or more than that again for him to stay. So I'm sure you guys already know that if you play this game enough within the last month, you probably already know that. But for those of you who don't, or are not really as familiar with this stuff, just felt like I would explain that because maybe some of you are even confused. If you have played this game and are wondering why some guys, behave a certain way they do, or maybe you just weren't as familiar with that feature. But I'm going to continue now because I feel like a lot of you are just getting bored. Looks like here as well, the only 3-star we are offering on, I actually offered him a lot more NIL. I did this off camera, actually. He was only expecting 90. I decided, hey, I'm going to offer you a ton more because that is one of our goals for our athletic director's expectations, is to sign at least 1 3-star. So regardless of what we do, we need to sign, or not even we need to offer, we need to sign a 3-star recruit, at least 1, prior to next season. And I only knew that we only had 1 on our roster, so I decided to add him more money. That might come back to bite me, because is he really worth it? I mean, maybe. It just kind of depends what his development trade is, and if he can actually, help our offensive line out. Obviously, he might not be very helpful as a freshman. And then next year, looking at Marco Jones, I actually made a favorites list. I'll probably go to that. These are my favorite recruits as of the ones that I have right now. We have Chavito Riola, who's currently currently his top offer, his only offer, to be fair. He's from Contreras Cove, Texas, an athlete that is technically a quarterback, or could be a quarterback, but could also potentially be a running back. Considering he has 79 speed. I think he'll be a quarterback. Because he's way too short to be a tight end. And yeah, we'll find a place for him. Hopefully in this offense if we try and get him. Plus it was just one of the first guys that was on my board, and actually that I offered on at the start of the year. So that is why we have him. Next here obviously is Dwayne Burita, which I feel like is one of my actual favorite recruits, other than, obviously the 3-star that I offered way too much money for, it feels like. But as you can see, when I did with the 3-star, it shows he was interested a little bit more than just a neutral offer. But Dwayne Burita is a running back from Florida, the state of Florida, that has 86 speed, and I felt like we could maybe use him someday if he sticks around. And, you know, his things wasn't that bad. He is in his top 5. Standard bearer, sadly, playing styles F. So we really need to get that up. Hopefully we can do that in the next couple weeks. We also got Marco Jones, tackle here as well. I didn't offer him any NIL because I didn't want to really do that. So the biggest focus for me for this season for recruiting will be offensive linemen, and just also trying to get some players that we feel like can make an impact. I really need to start more on these receivers. I actually offered Terrence Crispin a scholarship. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that or not. I actually haven't tried anything with hours on him yet. So we're going to send the house on him. But I will also probably go in a second to look for any other guys that we have. I did also know that there is a D tackle in here. You have Veal that I've offered on, but I haven't done much else other than that, other than messaging him via a DM. And we also haven't scouted everybody on our board either, but again, our hours are so limited, we kind of really can't do a whole lot. So I kind of want to feel like if I'm going to get some of these guys, I'm going to try and get the ones I can, and then hopefully as we start to narrow down our recruiting, and even when we hit the transfer portal at the end of the year, hopefully we can add some more guys that way. Alrighty, and now that we've done kind of all what I feel like we can do with our recruiting because of our hours that we have and all that, I feel like I'm just gonna we're gonna hop into this game against Sacramento State. Hopefully gonna try and get the win. And yeah, let's waste no more time. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, and now we are in our game here against Sacramento State. It's the battle of the new FBS teams. Both these teams came to the FBS this season, this real life season. So we're going to hand off to our running back first. And not going to gain anything. In fact, we're going to lose a yard. Yeah, for a reminder, for if you guys are new here, this series I'm going to be watching the games like this in the broadcast mode. And this right, oh my goodness. DJ Scott just got laid out by that lineman right there. That was definitely rough. 3rd and 15 here for the Bison. He's going to try and step up. He's just going to be taken down. And that's going to be a 3 and out. Not the best way you want to start a game, especially when we're on the road. And now we get to see our first taste of the Sacramento State offense. And we're going to try and get a 3 and out here, and we do. 4th down coming up. And I'm going to probably try and potentially do I'm trying to decide if I should do a mix between fast simming and slow simming, what this is called. And wow, we just had a 32-yard reception from DJ Scott for 32 yards. So he's going to bounce back from his you know, not so great first drive as we hit a 3rd down again. Hitting our next 3rd down here of the game after simming ahead a little bit. Here's Hayes to throw. Wide open. He's got the man. He's got the receiver all the way down inside there. That is 81. That is Mr. The tight end, Reese Kessel. And here goes a little bit of a trickery here to wide receiver 18 Jackson Williams, trying to get more familiar again with this offense as I try to here. Goes Hayes backfield, a little screen pass to Kessel, and Kessel's going to get out of bounds. 3rd and goal, and we're knocking on the door of the Hornets here in Sacramento. Can we find the end zone? Kessel going to go in motion. Hayes looking. Dumps it underneath for the running back. And Scott's going to be just short. We're going to have to settle for 3. Kicker going to get a little chip shot here, and it's good. And we go up 3-0. All right, now 3rd and 7 here again for Sacramento State. At the end of the first quarter here. Takes off, throws out, and he's going to have it. No, he's going to drop it. It's going to be a punt. Move along here on our next drive of the game at the end of the first quarter. And it's going to be another field goal by Drew Klein. So we are now leading 6-0 over the Hornets. Oh, wow. A 33-yard rush by Jamar Curtis, running back for the Hornets. Puts them in a great position, and another run, almost 30 yards again by Jamar Curtis. Puts the Hornets right inside the red zone here. And gonna hand off to, I think that might be Curtis, and he goes up for a couple. Need this defense, this red zone defense, to make a statement here. We're up 6-0. Quarterback gonna throw short, and it's gonna be completed. So we got 2 receivers up in the top, 1 underneath. We got the running back underneath as well. Quarterback, it's wide open, and he's gonna be taken down. And that's gonna be a nice take on. Oh, but they're gonna go for it. Tackle didn't matter by McClellan. 4th down attempt here by Sacramento State, and it's going to be a touchdown. Wow. No hesitation. No, really no scrambling to find the right play. They had something in mind. They went for it, and they got it. And our defense just was not ready for it. Jordan Williams, tight end there, making the catch. There was 3 guys there that could have potentially stopped that as well. That is frustrating. All right, we got another 3rd down here for our offense. Need to kind of respond back to Sacramento State's last touchdown. Come on, Hayes. Throws down the field wide open. He's got a man, and it's gonna be dropped. Oh, he had him. He had number 84. I think that was either Jacob Kisler. Kisler or Kilzer or Logan Conklin. He had one of them. And now we got to return decently as well. Oh, wow. And just on the next play, right as I went to sim ahead, Taven Eadley has... Oh, wow. And just when I went to sim ahead, wow. And just when I went to sim ahead, Talon Eady gets the interception on the Hornets. So we're going to now jump back right into this game here, right in slow sim or in broadcast mode. And we're going to just see if we can take advantage of this. Right at about midfield, running back in the backfield. Hayes gonna try and take it himself. I was blown up right away. Defense was ready there. I'm not sure how you can really plan against that, unfortunately. It's like trips formation. Tight end gonna be in motion. Drops back, throws underneath. It's gonna be Jackson Williams, excuse me. Starting to get to know these guys a little bit. 3rd down and 10. Hayes again. Looking, trying to find someone. Finally does. He finds his tight end. Reese Kessel again. Reese Kessel. I think it's Reese, but not exactly sure on that one. Nope. Play fake handoff. Gets it out to the big man. And that's another tight end. That's Abraham Myers. With the nice catch there for about 5 yards. Handoff again to Scott, and Scott gets up the field. Scott breaks a tackle for the 1st down. I like this increase in tempo. I like it a lot. Here goes Scott again. We're very much using this momentum on our side here. 27 yards for 9 carries for Scott, by the way. Another trips formation. Scott up the middle, and he's free for the score. Touchdown, Bison. And we're going to opt to go for the extra point in this one, and we get it. We're up now by 6. All right, we have now hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half in our 4th game as an FBS program. Here goes the quarterback, throws wide open, complete over the middle. And that's going to be a 1st down. Defense starting to break down a little bit. That's okay. We got a 6-point lead here. Quarterback takes the snap again. Looks to throw. Going to take off instead. He's got some legs. And he's going to dive down before he can be hit at the 22. Defense, we got to wake up here. I don't see a guy in the top up right there. I'm not sure who's covering him. And he's going to hand off. That's I kind of figured they would. So they were doing. They wouldn't just have a guy not covered and call a pass play, unless it was an actual computer or an actual person playing the game. I feel like Hornets use their first timeout. Pass rush just unable to get there, and that's going to be a wide open catch again, and they'll take their second timeout. That's a first down all the way, I think, inside the 5 as well. Defense got to show a little bit more fight here, or else this game will be a very long one. Going back in motion. A lot of motion today. Running back outside. No one's going to catch him, I feel. Oh, but we do get him. And that's their final timeout for Sacramento State. Got a wide formation set here with 3 on the far side. Running back out wide, and he stopped. And we got a timeout, I think, taken by... I thought they used all their timeouts already. Maybe that was their last timeout. No, we used all of our last timeouts. Oh, I thought it was Sacramento State. Never mind. I guess that would make sense. Here goes a play. Looking. There's no one on him. He's going to run it in. Defense. We got to be better than that. Carson Conklin is our quarterback, and we just basically accounted for everybody but him on that last play. So there's a chance we're probably going to be down by 1 here going into half, unless we come up with something on this next drive we have here. All right, now we got Hayes here on a roughly 1 minute drive here. Steps up, throws, complete, but he throws an interception. And that's going to be down at the 20. That is not what you want to see. I mean, he did good stepping up in the pocket. Usually younger quarterbacks or young quarterbacks tend to back up a lot and, you know, not take that chance. But unfortunately, he just threw it right to a defender, Elias McCullen. DB number 22 there. Yeah, he steps up, sees a guy down the field. Unfortunately, he's kind of double covered. Looking for Reese Kessel again, and now the Hornets have it inside their own, or inside our 20-yard line. And oh, he throws a little low there. All right, let's try this again here. Defense, throwing, end zone, and knocked away. Excellent defense. Another play back here, pass rush. Getting home, it finally does. For the first time today, it's 94. And that is Mr. Logan Larson, the senior redshirt defensive tackle, getting up there, getting the sack on Carson Conklin. Now we are forcing the Bison or the Hornets to kick a field goal, and they do get it, and I think that'll send us into the first half, I believe. Yes, it will. So, oh no, not a bad first half from us, but we need to play some good defense here as Jace Wilson just gets a huge 30-yard catch there. And we also got a penalty as well. That is certainly not going to help us there. So we start the third quarter on defense, and we're going to get a handoff to the running back, and he's going to get the first down. Jamar Curtis having a heck of a game so far. 13 carries and 80 yards, so need to have a little bit of a better run defense from our own team, and that's going to be a run up the middle again, shaken off by one defender, or shaken off by, but also then tackled. Here's Conklin again, going to hand off again, and they're trying to use the same thing and hoping it works out for him. Conklin now again, third down, defense looking. Trying to chase him down, and they're going to get him. Oh, they're going to stop him short. And that's going to lead to a field goal. I'm sorry if my mic is getting too loud, by the way. I have it in front of me for once. I usually have it off to the side. And that kick is up, and that kick is good. So they are now up. I believe it's set 20-13. So still one-score game. Wait a minute. How do they have the ball? I'm so confused. We just had it a second ago, and then we got a defensive holding call, and now they have a touchdown again. What just happened? So yeah, it appears in the sim here, or in the things, it says that there was a holding yard 10-yard penalty against the offense, but then at 6:13 they took over. I don't know how they got the ball back because it was only 3rd down. Like it was 3rd and 3, unless we punted it, I suppose. Either way, it appears to be raining now, which isn't going to really help us a whole lot, but we are getting a little bit of something going, it looks like, on our next drive. I say that as in we get 2 incompletions, well, 1 incompletion and a very small gain after I say that. Yeah, man, I don't know what happened on that last drive. I kind of wish I would have watched it now, but either way, Hayes here is going to try and throw, and he's not going to get anything off. That's going to be another 3 and out. Apparently, like I said, it started raining too, because you know they have the dynamic weather now in this game, which isn't bad. I don't disagree with it. I just, when we're already losing by a ton, that's a good tackle. But yeah, when your team is already losing by a lot, you kind of don't want those weather games, just because that's not really necessarily helping you. As yeah, our defense is really not doing much today. Not exactly sure what is happening. As another rush happens there. We just seem to not be able to stop this team. 1st and goal. Oh, and now it appears as if it stopped raining. Okay, that's really weird. Oh, we almost got that. That would have been insane. But yeah, no, actually, it looks like it is wet though. So that's kind of cool. It actually kind of shows the, after we almost missed that play, it kind of shows that how, you know, the weather can actually impact the games, whether it's, you know, that's kind of what the dynamic weather thing is for, where it might start raining, it might stop raining. So it definitely adds a level of realism that we haven't, I think, had in these games in the past, or at least not in a long time. Outside, and yeah, no one's on him. I don't know where my defense is even going. God, that's so stupid. And just like that, we just threw another interception, which gives them the ball on their own 30. And they go to 3rd down again. And they actually we do make a stop. Okay, you know what? That's good. But we're already kind of, we need something to happen here, otherwise this game is basically a lost cause. So we got roughly 9 minutes left here. We have a 3rd and very long. I'm not sure if we're going to even be able to try this here, as Hayes going to toss it down the field, wide open, and yeah, couldn't hold on to it. He tried to go for Jacob Kilzer, but we got to go for it, because otherwise we're not even going to have a shot at winning this game. Hayes is still in at quarterback, which, like I said, so far, not so good, and he's just going to take the sack. Yeah, I honestly, part of me feels like he may or may, I might have said this last time too, he may or may not be done after this week. Alright, so it has now locked me out of being able to actually stop and start the game again, so we're going to deal with the backups the rest of the game. Here's Preston Brown. I basically just went in and said mass sub backups, because that's basically all I can do at this point. So we're going to see how this goes. And hopefully it goes better than the starters, because the starters, other than a couple of shining pieces, like that's a good throw right there to Abraham Myers. But yeah, so I honestly, I'm going to give probably Preston Brown maybe the start next game we play. We'll see. Here he goes again running. He actually, oh, that's, he's had better runs than that. But yeah, I already knew there was really no chance of us winning this game, just because we're already way too much in the hole, and we just can't seem to do anything right, it seems like. Outside of a couple plays, like that one right there. That one was pretty good. I like Preston Brown, I gotta say, a little bit more than I do Hayes. I'm not sure exactly why that is. But, well, he almost made the completion there. We have an injury as well, and it's one of our offensive linemen. Alright, Brown again to take the snap. Throws up the field, and that's almost an interception. That was almost crazy, and that was also 4th down. So, yeah, unless something really crazy happens here, I think we're just going to probably close out of this game here. And the quarterback's just running. I don't know what the defense is doing. We stopped him. But, yeah, I'll catch up with you guys again if something happens. But other than that, this will be the last you see of this game, probably until it's over. So, yeah. So sorry about this, but yeah, kind of is what it is. We'll let's just last play first, see what happens, and that's going to be a 1st down. Okay. All right, and after that, like I said, nothing really ever happened afterwards except they kicked a field goal, and then we basically just kind of ran the clock out the rest of the way. So here are the stats if you guys want to see, if you're curious. Yeah, 3 interceptions for Nathan Hayes. He's definitely not going to play for us, for sure not next week, or next game rather. I think we have a bye next week, so he definitely needs it. But he'll probably not play next game for sure. He might not even play the rest of the season, unfortunately, unless he, starts to actually put up a decent amount of production. DJ Scott doing what he can behind that, what is a pretty awful O-line, if I'm being honest. Reese Kessel, DJ Scott, and a couple of other guys as well getting in there for receiving. All that really they can do, again, a lot of it comes down to the offensive line and not blocking. Defense, honestly, has been, what's the word? Not solid, but serviceable. There we go. Which, serviceable is one thing, but solid and consistent is another. So that is something we're going to have to focus on moving forward. But these stats so far with tackles for loss and all that, we did definitely get to their quarterback more than I probably originally realized we were doing. It's just, unfortunately, our offense kept making mistakes. And again, kind of the secondary kind of just let up some things that they shouldn't have. So that kind of prevented us from doing anything else outside of passing the ball, or outside of us failing to on offense or on a consistent basis. So despite the loss, we did get a defensive player of the week for the Mountain West, and that would be Talon Edie with his 1 interception and 7 tackles. So hey, I guess either he was that good, or the rest of the Mountain West just kind of sucked. But now that it is our bye week, we're going to go through this kind of quickly. Unfortunately, Garrison Moss has locked us out completely. We didn't even get on his board. But to be fair, I don't even think I offered him a scholarship. I kind of just had him scouted for us. So we're going to get those hours back, I think. Or actually, no, we won't get those hours back. We just obviously use them to scout, so we obviously won't. Everybody else, I think, is fine. Any changes? Crispin is actually up to where he's number 2 now because we offered him a scholarship. Other than that, we lost Mafal Slaughter. I've really, really kind of wanted him because his name it's awesome. I don't know if you... I actually thought it was awesome, at least. But he's already reached his top 5 schools. Savage has also reached his top 5. We're barely in there. I haven't even offered him a scholarship yet. I probably will do that just because, again, this defense needs somebody, and I feel like we kind of could use it. Now, do we exactly need a weak side linebacker as one of our needs? Yes, we do. We got a freshman who I think is currently redshirting. And then we got 2 others. One of them probably won't even stay here next year, so we do need a weak side linebacker for sure. I think we have another one somewhere else. We do. We have offered him as well. So I think we're going to actually offer Savage a scholarship. I might even put NIL on it just to try and be like, hey, let's how about you come up to NDSU? I know you're from Illinois. I know you really want to go to Western Michigan, but just give North Dakota a chance, Anyways, other than that, surprisingly, Taylor Manuel hasn't had any issues. We're in his top 5 now, which means we actually could hard sell him if we wanted to. Now, I would do this normally on any other dynasty. However, let's see, what is this actual one here? Now, honestly, I might still hard sell him all the way. He is a team player, which you don't really see that one very often, especially with USF being right behind us. Yeah, I think as much as it's going to take up more hours, I'm going to do team player on him. Hopefully that gives him an idea here of, just that we want him, as in we're willing to spend NIL for him, even though he doesn't really expect NIL. Let's see what else we got. We got a couple edges. All of the edge rushers I haven't even offered on. Marquise Bredesen, I'd love to scout him. I actually want to finish scouting that D tackle I was scouting last time, and he's actually not bad. We did move down on his board, though, unfortunately, as South Alabama offered him a scholarship, and Northwestern is currently at the top of it. I think we're going to. I'm not even going to offer any NIL. I'm just going to give him an offer and just see if he takes it. He is from Alabama, so it might not even, matter necessarily. I'm trying to be, I don't know. modest and maybe a little bit even too modest when it comes to my NIL. But at least if I offer this guy something, will remain in his top 5 probably because of the influence. So, but that just means we don't have to actually spend hours on him if we don't want to. Is there anything else we could do on our ones we know already? We can't even hard sell Marcel Herbert, which is the other guy. I mean, we technically could try, but again, we don't really have enough hours. I'm going to switch Taylor Manuel to a soft sell, and we're just going to soft sell both players because I feel like hopefully we start winning games. I want both of them, so I'm going to just try. And since we could probably soft sell them anyway, so I'm just going to see if I can line this up properly. All right, and after using up all of my hours, we're going to do our practice, and MP obviously is not going to participate in this week's game. There is no week's game, so that really doesn't matter. I'm actually going to also briefly check the coaching scheme guru section here, using some of these coach points. We have 105 at the moment, and I feel like if we get a couple of these, hopefully we'll actually start to see some improvements in our defensive play. So I'm going to use it on the secondary. I'm actually probably going to use it on the entire defense, at least the first level. We do have enough for another level, but we'll see. We're also going to use this discipline on defense because I haven't seen it before. Slightly increased effects from crowd noise at home. All right, and now moving into the next week where I think we're taking on UNLV, if I'm not mistaken. And for those of you that don't know what that is University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Oh, actually, never mind. We are going to be taking on the Wyoming Cowboys next. However, Whitehead unfortunately has locked us out of his top 5. I don't even think I offered him a scholarship, unless I did and I completely forgot. No, we did not. So unfortunately, he is also gone from our board as well, meaning we still have Dwayne Breida. But unfortunately, he's fallen a little bit. And Arkansas State has overtaken us for him. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that up actually because we have enough hours now. I'm actually going to hard sell him to get the absolute maximum influence that we can. We do have 2 D- or 2 D grades for the his for the pitch, but hopefully that'll take us back over Arkansas State so we can actually land this running back because losing a gem would not be ideal. Also looks like Terrence Crispin has actually reached his top 5 schools already. Okay. So we have student of the game, which that's actually what it is because his coach, his deal breaker is Coach Prestige. Now, I could try and sway him. I don't know how well this is going to work because, I don't know. Not many people have proximity to home and academic prestige as their deal breakers. So, and usually you like to have one with at least 2 of them lit up green. But unfortunately, I think we're going to have to either try... I think we're just honestly going to have to stick with the one that he has, which is student of the game, which really you don't see prospects have that, so I'm actually kind of surprised he does. But we're going to use it there, try and get over San Diego State, and try and land him that way. Looks like our 3-star Eric Turner has also got his top 5 narrowed down, which means we can honestly also take a soft sell at him. We are kind of obviously battling someone else for him as well, but man, Sunday player is his thing, and we have F-Pro potential for these guards, which I don't know why, because usually NDSU produces a lot of offensive linemen, but maybe if we can sway him to be a conference legend, maybe? Because then, because we're close to his home's in Minneapolis, so I feel like we'll try that. Rayshawn Savage has also hit his top 5, and I think just for the heck of this, we're also going to do one of these. He's a team player as well, which we actually have all greens for his pitch, so that actually might go really well for us. He does have a visit scheduled as well with Western Michigan. I feel like we should do ours with Nevada because I feel like that might be a good idea, and we'll have him attend practice. I'm going to take off a couple of these corners because I don't really generally like the way they are at the moment. I know that sounds really mean, but we're going to offer on Shamir King. He is a little bit undersized for my liking. He's only 5'9", but at least if we have an offer on him, we'll automatically jump into his top 5, ideally, which definitely helps. And Taylor Manuel is a team player. We're going to stay where we're at there. We offer this kicker a scholarship as well. We haven't really done anything with him. or got any influence on him. Marquise Bredesen is already in his top 5, which doesn't really help me, so we're actually going to DM him. And that is unfortunately all the hours I am allowed to use at the moment. Unless Marcel Herbert here has more, which he does not. And before I forget to do the change, we are going to start Preston Brown this week at starting quarterback against the Cowboys. Seeing how he does, if he does any better, if he does any worse. We do have Trey Drake as well, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But I will have Hayes as the third stringer because I want Drake to potentially get some option or an opportunity to start if he wants to. Or if, you know, like if Preston Brown checks out of the game or something for wear and tear. Everybody else should be fine. I'm going to go check on this offensive line again. We got Jenkins at, well, we got our left tackle starting at right, which doesn't make much sense. I wonder if Megan's starting at, yeah, he is. Okay. So the whole thing's flipped, which honestly, probably not the best, but I'll allow it for now. I'm also going to go in here as well and check some of these sub players. So slot corner, sub linebacker. We have a safety currently starting, Taylon Edey, player of the week this past week, starting at slot corner. And you know what? I think that's fine. DJ Volts can stay at his outside position. As for the other guys, ideally I'd like the rush players to be more of the ones with better speed, but we only have one with decent speed, it looks like. Which isn't even an edge rusher, it's a defensive end, it's a linebacker, Noah Taylor. Because all of our edges are not very fast, which honestly is pretty fair. But yeah, so I'm gonna hop into this game against Wyoming, and I will see you guys in just a second. And here we are inside of our second game of the video against the Wyoming Cowboys in the Fargo Dome again. We're back. It's been a while since our first week's game, I believe. And we're now going to hop in here again, and I'm actually going to press the right buttons for once, and we will jump in and watch, check out the action here. All right, we've gone with the all greens today. The all green alternate uniforms. Here's DJ Scott with the carry, and he has a huge gain against this Cowboys defense. A 4-0 Wyoming that we're taking on today. Team has not lost yet today, or yet this season, as they are having another conference game here. And here's a toss outside to Myers. And now we got a nice set here with DJ Scott in the backfield. 2 receivers to the outside. Gonna motion one across. And he's gonna toss it to Scott, who's had a hole. He's got a hole, shakes off one tackle, and finally gets taken down at the 39. And apologies if my voice is a little too loud for the mic. I got a little too close to it, so it might have been a little blatty there. But hopefully I backed up a little bit and I don't try and lean in that much. But here goes a huge tackle by one of the defenders on Wyoming. Obviously I don't know the roster as well as ours, so you won't really see me hear me say names at all. And here's a nice pass. Oh, it's dropped. He had him wide open. Jacob Kilzer basically had him in the bucket, or dropping it, you know, the ball like it was dropping into a bucket, but yeah, you couldn't get him in there. Here goes Brown. Brown can't scramble away. That's a sack. Donnie Wingate getting there on a sack, and that's going to be a 3-and-out. So second down here on our second possession after a 3-and-out from the Cowboys. Here goes Scott getting caught up in the blocking there by the offensive line, but gets a few yards. But brings up third down. Brown looks to throw. Throws down the field wide open, and how is that not pass interference? He literally tackled him while the ball was in the air, but they must have determined it was uncatchable. But man, that's gotta be frustrating as well. And nice punt, but it does unfortunately go in the end zone as a Cowboy is down with an injury. And that did not take long. Eric Richardson with a Wyoming touchdown and an Eric Sandvik extra point. Huge sack by the defensive tackle and an injury again on the play there, but a huge run by Brown with 4th and inches. And are we going to punt this one away? We do. All right, next play here, 3rd and inches for the Cowboys on their next drive. And, oh, it's going to be a play fake. Throws over the middle, and he's going to be caught. Or it's going to be caught in the middle of the field, number 2. And Tyler Hughes, quarterback for the Cowboys, for 1,000 yards this season. The other quarterback last week also had, or last game also had that as well. All right, now we got to change possession here. Drops back to throw. 3rd down and 9. Tosses down the field, and he's going to sling it right to his guy, Richardson. And then they're going to inside the 25 at the 21. With a single backfield. 2 receivers out to the left. A little crossing route here. Throws middle of the field, and it's caught. Oh, almost off the fingertips. Good defense there by our secondary. And this is going to be a field goal attempt for the Cowboys. And up, and it's going to be good. It was very short distance, very makeable. It is now a 10-0 game. We still have yet to put anything on the board. Our next drive is not going too well as we go another 3 and out. And have to punt the ball away. And Wyoming's going to get another shot at it, but they also struggle. Oh, they get a 1st down, though. Eric Richardson really being involved heavily today in the offensive game plan as Keenan Wilson gets a sack for a 9-yard loss and brings up 3rd down as well. So we got a 3rd down and very long here. 3rd and a mile, 3rd and 19, whatever you want to call it, as the receiver goes in motion. Running back up the middle. And he almost breaks free, but does get stopped at the 25 as they're going to go for another field goal attempt here to make it a 13-0 game in favor of Wyoming. And that's going to be almost blocked, but it does go through. Hope you all are at least somewhat enjoying this episode of the NDSU Dynasty. I know it's not very exciting necessarily when we obviously lose games instead of win them. But I'm sure you can understand as we get to a 3rd inches with Preston Brown, and we fortunately get a 4th and inches as well. But yeah, I hope you guys can all understand that this obviously is not an easy team to play with. We are obviously not, again, like I said, I think in the first episode, if I recall, we definitely are going to start almost from the ground, from basically nothing almost, and have to build our way up slowly but surely. It's definitely not looking very promising here in the first season. Figured I'd hop in here to see if our defense in the red zone can step up a little bit. They are at the 11-yard line though, so maybe no promises there. And run by the quarterback, throws in the middle of the end zone, and it's caught again. Basically identical to what we saw earlier today in the Sacramento State game. So man, we have not scored any points with Brown under center. And this is definitely not what you want to see when you're in your first year in the FBS program. Obviously, thankfully, we have a very patient athletic director. Or at least I think we did. I can't remember exactly now off the top of my head. But yeah, 20-0 is the score. And we're going to have to definitely, hopefully, start scoring some in the second half, if nothing else. Otherwise, yeah, we'll have to make some sweeping changes come next season. Well, it is now the second half of the game, 3rd quarter, and the Cowboys are in a 3rd down situation after we tried to stop them on defense, and that was not a great, oh my goodness, we basically had him there, but I'm sure you can also tell as well, they scored a touchdown during that little break there for you guys, which was about a second or so, and for me, it was a little bit more time than that. And here goes a nice run as well on the outside. Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to get our... I mean, I was hoping for a very potentially somewhat competitive game, but I should have known since they're 4-0. They're certainly proving why they have not lost a game yet this year. Here goes nice rule. Good stop there, though. That was at least good. Trying to pick out the positives from all these games. I hope you guys are okay with that. And here goes... the running back again, tackled by number 6. And I believe that was either Jalen Crumby. I think it was Jalen Crumby, actually. From a sub linebacker spot. And another run up the middle. We just cannot stop anything today. It seems like I don't know what's happening. But 1st and goal attempt here on the outside. And we do make a stop there. A good tackle. 41 getting involved. Peter Hugo or Hiago. Play action. as he throws and throws it out to the back of the end zone. And yeah, I know the home crowd is probably very disappointed in so far this team's performance, you know, after dominating the FCS for so many years. And yeah, this is another touchdown given up as well. But yeah, the FBS is no joke. It doesn't matter how good you were in the lower levels. Moving up to the top level, or one of the top levels, is definitely going to be a climb. Here's as though we're finally getting a drive going, and right as I say that, get the ball knocked away and we punt again. You know, honestly, part of me is maybe feeling a little bad for Preston Brown. I kind of made him start in possibly one of the biggest games he'll ever start in his career, taking on an undefeated Wyoming. I didn't really realize that they were this good of a program at this point. Obviously, we got a penalty for McCaslin, of course, offsides. But yeah, I kind of feel bad for the kid now because I kind of made him step up. He's only a sophomore, so he's only in his second year in college, and yeah, this probably wasn't the greatest decision by me as the head coach slash whatever. I mean, I'm technically not even head coach. I mean, you know, there are real life head coaches in this game, so that's obviously, I'm just kind of the one that's here watching from the sidelines and whatever. And there's a touchdown or a field goal attempt made there by Eric Sandvik, who's made a couple of them today. Alrighty, so we need to kind of step up here and make something happen. Otherwise, this will definitely be another game we'll just want to forget. Obviously, these types of games build character, so definitely nothing to be ashamed of. But nice catch there. Wow, throwing it to Kessel on the sideline. Got a trip set formation here with the 3 tight ends. And throws it out, and that's a pick. Oh my goodness. Oh no. And he's going all the way back for a touchdown. Yeah, this game is over. Well, at least we didn't get shut out. But man, that was not at all what I was expecting. Tyler Hughes, obviously, respect to you, man. You beat us fair and square. Almost 400 yards on the day. We were not ready for this matchup, sadly. Not sure what happened out there, but we have a problem. And it's not one you want to have, especially this early on in the year. Also, just looking at the replay of that last interception, pick 6 that Preston Brown threw. And as you can see, technically it wasn't even really his fault. But he saw Scott out of the backfield. But unfortunately, the defender there, number 5, who ended up getting the interception and taking it all the way back, got his helmet in there at the right time, that's kind of what prevented the catch. So just unlucky and unfortunate for our quarterback. And unfortunately, after that second miserable loss in a row, our schedule doesn't get much easier, as next we have UNLV, or University of Nevada, Las Vegas, on our schedule next, and they are 5-0. So it is definitely going to be an uphill climb from here on out. Also had a couple developments in recruiting, as we obviously have lost a couple of guys to lockouts, or in the case of Tyreek Swoop, for example. We've also even straight up have a guy commit somewhere else, and that would be Sacramento State, and Matt Kiesel committing there after we didn't really offer him much. I kind of ran out of hours, so we also lose out on him as well. The good news, however, is that of our favorites and our most thought about prospects, we are basically 1 or 2 in for each of them. So we did not move up the first again yet for Dwayne Breida. Again, we lost, so that kind of makes sense. Sadly, we don't have enough hours to even schedule him a visit, which I think is a little ridiculous, but you know, it's not bad. We do have obviously Crispin as well, we're trying to go after. I'm not sure if I want to go after a different receiver, just because we might have a lot of guys leaving after this year, but that's why I'm kind of not spending a lot of NIL, because, you know, we kind of want to get guys to not only stay here, but also just, or not only want to bring guys in from high school, we also want to retain some of our old players if we can. That being said, I will be putting some more hours and thoughts on on certain prospects like Tyrone Wilkins here, who's a 2-star. We just passed Baylor for him. That's because we offered him a scholarship. And we also have enough for 2 more scholarships. I'm going to go to the other guys that I don't have on my boards at all. or in my favorites list rather, like Larry Haggins and Josh Coley. I don't think either of them are really good. Yeah, no, they're not really the greatest. I'd say Crispin's definitely the best of the three. Not getting any tight ends as of right now. Marco Jones. As long as we get this 3-star, it's kind of what I'm planning on. He did not switch his... Actually, he did switch his thing. Okay, that's good. But championship contenders all the way down to an F now, so that really doesn't help us that much. Unfortunately, we're retaining him, but we are still far the only school still offering on him, so I'll just take that as a win for now. Looks like Cortez Veal is almost in his top 5, which is good. Jameson's got the... Obviously, we got the scholarship, so we moved up into the top 5 if we weren't already. Delaware is pushing hard for Jameson. I might try, just for this round of recruiting, just to kind of put some extra hours on him to try and get him. But again, we're very limited on what we can do, so that's not really ideal. We do have a visit scheduled for Nevada. Hopefully it's a good game for Rashawn Savage to come to us, because getting a recruit would be really, really helpful. Actually, it does look like Trevita Rayola has actually hit his top 5 schools, so we actually can soft sell him a little bit. That being said, I might try and sway him because I feel like the championship contender is just not going to go up anytime soon. So if we can maybe try and find a way to get him one that doesn't involve championship contender, but is an area where we also excel in. I suppose we could try and switch into a status seeker just so we can get that brand exposure. At least it's a D+, it's not an F. I'm not sure how much that's going to really impact him at all. I could be doing this completely wrong, but hey, at least we have a few more hours now, meaning we can actually go through some of these other prospects like Shamir King and put some hours on him. And then we also can go to a different guy like Emmanuel Colombo and add some hours on him as well. All right, so we're now in our game against the Rebels, and I'm not expecting much from this, but hopefully I'm expecting something decent, as Preston Brown going to be sacked by Cam Santi for the sack right on the first play. That is not a good look. But then again, we've kind of experienced that a lot today, as we just kind of haven't really been playing very competitively pretty much ever since we won our game against, or lost our game rather, against the Air Force. Second and long here for Brown. Toss it outside. Makes a man miss. But only gets a couple, and there's an injury already for one of the Rebels. And that pass out there, I believe, was to Jackson Williams. Or rather, I think it was Mekhi Collins, number 15. Now it's third and long here for Preston Brown. Dropping back, looking, can't find anybody. Finds someone, finally left the field, and he's caught it. It's DJ Scott. Forgot his name for a second there. Scott once again in the backfield for this next first down. Brown takes the snap, throws underneath, and it's dropped. Looking for Williams. Just need something to work here. Preston Brown again takes it himself. I would just run, dude. And he gets it out to Mekhi Collins, speaking of which. Brings up another third down. Not sure exactly. Again, like, we played better than this before. So there goes Preston Brown using his legs. Finally slides. That was the one thing he was really good at in the start of the year, is just being able to run with the football. Here again, handoff. Nope. Play fake. Throws over, and that was way high. And always getting pressured, and that's the unfortunate part. We're just not to the caliber of some of these teams. That's just the reality we have to face at the moment. Here goes running back outside again. That's Scott again. Scott, he's kept us in these games. Other players have, to a degree. I mean, not really, obviously, because we've gotten blown out twice now. And that was a screen pass, but didn't go very far. And that's going to be a 3-and-out. Jumping in here at the end of near the end of the first quarter. This was 5 minutes left. Takes the snap. Throws middle of the field, and that's almost intercepted. So he just overthrew it a little bit there, but it'll cause the Rebels to punt the ball away from deep within their own territory. And that's going to get out to, wow, it's about the midfield. Returned. And it's going to get up to about the 44. Another thing that's not helping us in a lot of these drives and games is our penalties. We've gotten a lot of penalties that have really just killed our drives. And we're actually somewhat holding our own here in this game, unlike the past two, which is really interesting. Gonna hop back in here now, right at about the end of the first quarter. Went to the minute 40 left. Gonna move Kessel in motion. And Brown's gonna take it, toss it to Kessel. And Kessel's gonna get up to about the 42. Brings up 3rd and 5. Starting to drive a little bit now in this game. Looking back to throw. Can't find anyone. Just gonna take off. He's got green. He's running. And he finally dives at about the 37. Huge run from Preston Brown. Now Brown under center with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Williams in motion. Gonna hand it off to DJ Scott again. And that'll end the first quarter. The first time in one of these three games we've watched today where the score is all zeros after one. Start of the second quarter now at the 30-yard line of the Rebels. Here goes Scott outside. He's got space, and he's got a first down as well at the 19. Got 2 receivers up the top. Does a little bubble screen to Collins. And that's an injury on the offensive line. We can't have that happen. Unfortunately, that is one of our that is Nate Tastad that went down with that injury. Here goes Brown again. Picks up the blitz. And doesn't pick up the blitz as he's sacked. Way back at the 25 for a 4th and 16. And I think we're going to try a field goal. So a field goal try from the 25. This is about a 35-yard attempt. And it's good. So we lead the Rebels 3-0 here to start the second quarter. Next drive for the Rebels goes 3 and out. Our defense actually doing fairly well right now. Maybe those boosts actually so far have been doing something, which is awesome, by the way. So 3rd down, yeah, 1st down, we're driving. Back inside the red zone here now for this offense. Here under center now is Preston Brown. Hands off to Scott. And Scott gets a few up to about 5 yards up to the 16. As we are looking to hopefully get one of our first touchdowns since our game against Jacksonville State, or as against Sacramento State. Here goes Brown running through defenders and gets the first down as well. Brown gonna hand off. Nope, gonna keep it himself. Tries to find a lane, finally tackled. Holds onto the ball, thank goodness. But picks it all the way down to the 3. 2nd down, handoff, up the middle. And oh, there's a flag down. I think that might be on the defense. Potentially for a face mask. And yep, it's going to be a face mask on UNLV. An automatic 1st down and goal for us. You never see something like this. Going to shift the receivers to the other side with Scott in the backfield. Feeling a little tired back there. Runs in the middle, and he's going to score. And a touchdown that's going to potentially put us up 10-0 pending the extra point on undefeated UNLV. Extra point as always to follow. And here we go. 10-0. And wow, a huge 1st down reception for Jackson Williams. 26 yards and an 18-yard rush from DJ Scott as well. As this offense seems to be clicking here right about that the 2-minute warning. And we get a field goal from Drew Klein. We are now up 13-0 right about at halftime. See if our defense can hold off the Rebels out of the end zone for the first half. If so, this might have been a real game changer here. Oh, there's a first down at midfield, as the Rebels will take their first timeout to try and preserve some clock here. Another handoff to the running back. Tries to run over our defender, but they're going to have to do a little bit of quick hiking and hurry up if they want to even try and get on the board before this half is over. Toss it down, first down. 2 receivers on the top, 1 on the bottom of your screen. Looking. Quarterback scrambles, crosses body. He's got a wide open person all the way down inside the 10. And just like that, they're right within scoring range. We just got off of our second timeout taken by our coach. And it's going to be a running back keeper. Oh my goodness, what is this? He could have taken that outside and got the score. We take our final timeout as well. The Rebels want some points on the board, and they are going to get it. Touchdown UNLV. So clearly the Rebels heard me when I said that they wanted to get on the board, because they did just that. And in almost no time as well. I mean, well, I guess they took a lot of time off the clock, but they did that really quickly. So we're now in the third quarter of our third game of the video. And it's a third down for us here, and Scott goes absolutely nowhere. And another injury on the offensive line. That is Jack Lewinsky, who's stepping in for Griffin Empey at left guard. And that is not what you want to see, because he's filling in for one of our best players. In fact, our best player. So him being injured is not going to help us whatsoever. And just like that, UNLV has taken it in for another touchdown and the extra point to take the lead. Alright, not where I thought we would be at this point in the game, unfortunately. 14-13 now, and there goes the pitch outside to Scott. And, yeah, was really not hoping for this collapse. I don't know what happened. We were up 13-0. We do not want to be known as that team. Oh, here's a big pass, and it's caught! Caught by Collins, but unfortunately Kessel's down with an injury as well. But my goodness, that was a huge play. Here goes Brown again to throw. Throws to the backup tight end filling in for him, Abraham Myers. And he gets a first down as well. Brown looking again. Steps up, gonna run. He's got space in front of him, and he's finally brought down at the 10-yard line. Now this is the offense I was expecting us to have today. Hand off to Scott. Scott breaks free for another score. And now we have doubled our touchdown amounts that we had 2 weeks ago. And actually the last 2 games probably combined. There goes Brown again, 2-point conversion. It's failed as he's tackled at the 35. Tried to run it in himself. That was just not going to work, not in this environment. I'm going to jump in here quick and watch how our defense does here at the end of the third quarter. They've done all right up to this point, all things considered. And oh, what a tackle. Nice job by number, I think that was 32, is that right? That wasn't 32. That might have been. Or it was 23. That was either Keegan Huber or it was one of our other safeties. And toss outside again. Team reminds me of Ohio State. Just because of their uniforms. But we make the stop, and they're going to try for a long field goal. About 47 yards. Kick is up. And it is no good. Can't tell where if he missed it to the left. I think he missed it to the left. But if you're UNLV right now, I'd be a little worried. Just realized that Scott has 89 yards and 21 carries. That's actually pretty good. And that'll be the end of the third quarter there. We got the lead in this one, and it's starting to slow down. It's been doing this lately. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is. feel like the game's kind of bugged a little bit, which is unfortunate because it's not even a month old. And it's already having issues like this, but I mean, it wasn't doing this the first like couple times. All right, we're going to start the fourth quarter here on a turnover on downs. Or I think it was either that was a punt. I couldn't quite tell because I accidentally skipped a little too far ahead, and I usually try and go play by play, but sometimes I've accidentally hit the skip to next change possession in the fast sim. So then it just kind of skips whatever. Here goes the quarterback. He still has the ball. And now we're kind of looking a little like we have the last two games. Prior to this game, of course. But here goes Brown. Little screen pass outside. Doesn't get anywhere. Yeah, that's going to be another punt. Another 3 and out. That's what I don't understand about this team. We're so, like, we make good plays occasionally, but yet we still make a ton of awful mistakes. Or at least a ton of mistakes that are easily avoidable. That was a good stop, though. And just like that, UNLV has taken the lead with 5:38 left in the game. All right, Preston Brown, time to show everybody that you're not, in fact, the same as your quarterback that you replaced in this video. And that you can actually help us win a game rather than be the way we lose a game. Now, then again, I think he had a little bit of an issue in the first game of the season, but we're going to try and forget like that didn't happen. Here goes Brown, throwing across his body, and that's exactly a play that we don't want to see. Nearly intercepted there. Apologize for being so negative on my quarterback play. He doesn't sometimes feel like he's doing a whole lot, and there's a nice pass, and oh my goodness, he almost caught that. But unfortunately, it was knocked down, and we're punting this one away. Down a field goal, which means this game is still within reach. We just have to play good on defense, not allow a huge return, and we should be in business. So after a couple of 3 and outs, we are basically sitting here with just about 2:45 left to play in the game. As the quarterback's going to take it himself, we sack him, thankfully. But that'll take us about to the 2-minute warning. 3rd down. This is a huge play we need to make right here. Right before the 2-minute warning would be absolutely huge. And we make the stop. Right at the 2-minute timeout. UNLV is going to punt us the ball. We have a shot to drive down the field and at least get a field goal to tie this up and send this into overtime. And that's going to be a huge return. That's a great return. A huge hit, but it gets to midfield at least. All right, Preston. We need you to step up. Be the quarterback you're supposed to be. That's a good start. Gets it up to his receiver. I think that was Collins again. Sorry, I hit my mic. Again, upfield, there's Collins again. That was not as good of a play as the first one. But we don't have a whole lot. We have actually no timeouts. We actually have to... I didn't realize. We used up all of our timeouts before the 2-minute warning. That's a little bit unfortunate. Underneath to Williams, who should get the first down because forward progress is always calculated and taken into account. The 1 minute remains here, roughly. Preston Brown steps up. He's running. And we're just inside of field goal range for our kicker. I don't know about you all, but I am kind of hoping we go try and take the win on this one and not go into overtime. Here goes Brown again. Looking. Tosses up field, and that's almost undercut and intercepted. 3rd down looming. I don't think this is 4 down territory. I think this is definitely a field goal attempt if we don't get this here. And Brown's just going to step up, throws, and it's caught at the 7. Oh, we have a shot, ladies and gentlemen. We have a shot for the upset. Throws out of bounds. And we're just going to take the field goal. No time wasted here. And UNLV is going to take their, I think, 2nd timeout? 1st timeout. Try and ice us. Klein to kick. It's up. It's a chip shot, and it's good. We're all tied up here at 22 apiece in what could be one of the biggest shocks of the year if it goes our way. So this what could be the final play of the regulation to send us into overtime. Steps back to throw. Gonna lob it down the field. And it is, I think, incomplete. Yep, incomplete. Time would have expired if it was complete. 1 second remains. Hail Mary time to try and end this game before regulation's up. Throws down the field. It's up. And it's either caught or incomplete, but we're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. As per reminder here, the overtime rules for college. Coin toss gets choice of offense or defense. And then basically you score a touchdown and 2-point conversions. And then if you fail to do so, obviously the other team wins. And then at one point, you go to more than 2 overtimes. It's 2-point conversions back and forth until the other team fails to convert. So it looks like we're going to be defending first. UNLV is going to get a shot to go in the end zone. Everybody's going to start at 25, and that was a false start penalty on the offense of the Rebels. I just realized I feel like they're the Raiders, not the Rebels. I could be completely wrong on that, but either way, here goes the first down. Quarterback in a scramble. And remember, field goals are not necessarily all of it unless another team can't score. Here goes UNLV again. Throws outside to the 18-yard line. 3rd down and 3 already coming up here. Defense, here we go. Throws middle of the field, and it's caught at the 8, 1st and goal. And here we go, nice run up the middle, and that run's going to be in for the end zone for a touchdown for UNLV. So now with that, they are going to try a 2-pointer, I believe. And then if they don't get it, it is the Rebels, I'm right. Jadaean Thomas. So if the Rebels don't get this, we have a shot to go down and score and then tie it ourselves. Actually, they're going to go for the extra point. So we could go down and score a 2-pointer, and we probably can get it. But 29-22 so far the score. All right, it's now our turn on offense in this overtime period. Here's Brown. End zone. He's looking end zone deep. And oh, he almost caught it in the corner of the end zone. That was looking for Collins. Makai Collins almost came down with it on the first play. Dropping back again. It's Preston Brown. Going deep again for Collins. And oh, wow, he got turned around or something. But it's incomplete. Brown again. 3rd time. Throwing, and that's just a dud. Unfortunately, we have to convert here. Otherwise, this game's over. Come on, Brown. Getting chased. Throws on the run, and that's a flag down. What's the flag? I think it's on the defense. In which case, I think it counts. Personal foul, roughing the passer on UNLV. Meaning we get the goal on our the first and goal on the 5. I couldn't speak there for a second. Here goes Brown. Oh, he's gonna be sacked. Oh, and he fumbled the football. That's not good. And we luckily got it back, but that would have been tragic. Preston Brown again. Gotta be more careful with the football here. What's he gonna do? He's gonna get sacked again. This offensive line is failing us. And we're back to basically where we started. Preston Brown to throw. Defense is not being kind. He's gonna run. You kinda can't slide there, dude. You gotta throw the ball, even if the guys aren't open. This is it here, 4th and goal. And that's gonna be incomplete, and unfortunately, we are not going to upset the Rebels. And we will fall to a merely 1 and 5. We basically had them. We had them on the ropes and just couldn't get it done. So looking at this last play once more, as you can see here, yeah, our offensive line just didn't block as well. Center is not doing his job for some reason. We had the tight end open. If we threw it more than, like if we threw it right here, we might have tried to get it to him, but obviously that linebacker's sitting underneath. It's kind of hard to do so. But no one else was really open, so Yeah, by the time we were like, oh, he's open, it was too late. The guy's already there. So sadly with that, it just means we're going to fall even further into our slump. So even though we may not have won what potentially could have been one of the games of the year, I feel like it was one of our better performances. I mean, really. I mean, we took 6 sacks, which we really shouldn't ever do. But 52% completion percentage, an average of 9.9, almost average of 10 yards per completion, I feel like isn't terrible. Now, granted, we didn't throw a single touchdown pass, but we also didn't have a turnover in the interception department. We did have a fumble, but it wasn't recovered, so no turnovers from this team, which is awesome. DJ Scott had 2 of the touchdowns. Also had 93 yards on 23 carries. Positive, Another thing, receivers. Makai Collins could be one of our better receivers in someday if he decides to stick around. I mean, well, actually, he's a senior redshirt. Never mind. But one of our better receivers this season. Jacob Kilzer, sophomore. Hopefully he sticks around. Can't say he will after our start that we've had so far, but hey, it's honestly not that bad. At least, to me, it's not. And defensively, honestly, even though we didn't have a whole lot of stats that show up on the stat sheet, I mean, we had a lot of deflections. But I give props to this defense. We held UNLV back. We had a 13-0 lead on them at one point. We forced them to go to overtime. Like, I would give us a pat on the back. I know it sucks. Basically, all I'm saying is that, honestly, yeah, I know it sucks. It really does. That we can't seem to win a game, especially in conference play, because we are now 0 and I think, 3 in the conference? But the fact that we've taken 2 of our conference opponents basically to overtime or to the end of regulation and are just 1 piece or 2 pieces away from, or one bad play or bad play call away from actually getting over, beating them, I call that a win. Now, again, gotta face the fact of the matter, we are starting 1-5, so recruiting might become much more challenging moving forward. Hopefully we won't lose a ton of our recruiting, especially a lot of what we've done today, but it is my hope that starting next episode we can maybe focus on starting to try and get through some more of these games, trying to hopefully face easier opponents in the Mountain West Conference. Looking ahead at our schedule, or before this game, I noticed that we have a couple of easier games hopefully coming up. So we won't be the absolute worst team in the conference, but hey, if we are, that's fine. I mean, we knew this was going to be a rebuild. It was going to be a challenge, and that's partially why I decided to make a series about it. So with that being said, hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. I'm going to end it here. It's going to be a longer one, and if you don't like that, I apologize, but if you do, you know where to show your support. Hopefully the next one will be out this next coming week, but in the meantime, look out for other videos on other channels I operate, as well as some other non-college football videos that are coming out. I mean, I actually have another little probably series potentially I might start with the Road to Glory for this game. So I started it last year and I didn't get very far as far as I wanted to, but I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to do it because it sounds like it has a lot more issues this year from some people, at least on the internet and all that. But again, I'm taking that well with a grain of salt. And then the other thing I want to say, or the last thing I want to say, is Madden 27 drops later this week as I'm recording this. So there will be a live stream on that like there has the last 2 years. And then I'll also be starting a franchise series up, and I'll hopefully try and finish it and do more than just 5 videos of it. I mean, or 5 or 6, whatever I've done in the past. So be sure to look out for that series as well. And I'm hoping it'll be really fun. It sounds like it'll be a lot more, at least fun for people like me who do videos like this, where it's more long form and more like, trying to manage the team rather than actually play the game. I mean, obviously I like to play the game as well on my own, but for YouTube's sake, kind of want to do potentially a mix of both. We'll see. Yeah, with that all said, that's, again, like I said, going to be it from me. Hope you guys all enjoyed this one, and hope to see you in the next episode whenever that comes out. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay safe, be kind, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.